Episode 3, The World We Inherited. Welcome back. This is Episode 3 in our series on the forces shaping Canada and the Western world. In Episode 1, we explored demographics. In Episode 2, we looked at how nations across the globe are adjusting to falling birth rates. Today, we turn to geopolitics and examine how the modern world order was built in the aftermath of the Second World War. To understand why the world feels more tense, fractured, and unpredictable today, we have to return to that moment in history. The system that shaped the lives of several generations began in 1945. When the war ended, the United States was the only major industrial power left standing. Europe was devastated. Japan had been flattened. The Soviet Union survived, but at an unimaginable cost. The United States alone had the factories, the manpower, the resources, the capital, and the technological capability to rebuild the global economy. They were the only nation able to design a new system. That system took shape around two core American guarantees. The first was open global trade. The second was security on the world's oceans. The United States told its allies and even its competitors that if they aligned with the Western Bloc, they would gain access to a global marketplace protected by the U.S. Navy. No blockades, no piracy, no interference from hostile states. Trade would flow and economies could rebuild. Globalization, therefore, was not born out of a desire for world unity. It was a Cold War strategy. It offered prosperity as an incentive for countries to align with the United States rather than the Soviet Union. And it worked. Western Europe rebuilt at remarkable speed. Japan rose from devastation to become an industrial powerhouse. South Korea and Taiwan transformed themselves in record time. All of this happened under the American security umbrella. This new order was a dramatic break from the past. Before World War II, empires dominated world commerce. Britain protected British trade, France protected French trade, and Japan protected Japanese trade. The United States changed the model completely. It offered protection even to nations that competed with American industry. Nothing like this had ever existed. It produced the most open and cooperative global economy in human history. This is the world most of us grew up in, a world of relative stability, predictable trade routes, and secure oceans. It enabled global manufacturing, global supply chains, and decades of economic expansion. It also allowed countries with declining birth rates to keep growing by importing labor indirectly through foreign-made goods rather than through immigration alone. But today, that system is no longer holding together in the same way. Two major shifts altered the global landscape. First, the Cold War ended. With the Soviet Union gone, the strategic reason for the United States to police the oceans for free largely disappeared. The incentive that held the system in place was no longer there. Second, demographics began to shift worldwide. Aging populations and shrinking workforces pushed countries inward. Domestic security and economic stability became more important than global cooperation. Globalization began to slow. The old American guarantees that once held the system together were no longer automatic. The stability that shaped the post-war era is not guaranteed anymore. Supply chains are being redesigned. Strategic regions are becoming less secure. Countries are competing more directly, reassessing alliances and preparing for a future where the old rules may not apply. The takeaway from this episode is simple. The world order we inherited was not permanent. It was built for a specific time, to solve a specific problem, and it functioned for nearly 80 years. But the forces that created it are gone. Demographics have changed, alliances have shifted, and nations are entering a period where the next global framework is still unknown. This has been episode 3 of our series on global change. In episode 4, we connect demographics and geopolitics and examine how these forces reshape global trade, supply chains, and the economic future of countries like Canada.